Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video is a quick little preview for the Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz card. I will run through all of the fights on the card and give you my thoughts. The card goes down on the 4th of December, takes place at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and it goes down on the Zone. Now, let's talk about the main event first and foremost. It is a title fight, WBC title held by Devin Haney. He's defending against Jojo Diaz. What do we make of this fight? First and foremost, I do want to say, I actually do rate Jojo Diaz as a fighter. He's one of those guys who I would describe him as very well-rounded, but he's not one of those guys who excels in one particular area. He's not the quickest, he's not the hardest puncher, but he does everything well, you know, just really well-rounded. But my problem with Jojo Diaz in this fight is, for me, he's not a true lightweight. I see Jojo Diaz as a lazy super featherweight. Jojo started his career at featherweight. He stayed at featherweight for a little while. He then moved to super featherweight, and in his last super featherweight fight, he completely blew the weight. And to me, it looked like he could take some more weight off. He just blew the weight. It looked like ill discipline to me. So yeah, since Jojo's been at lightweight, I've never really felt he belongs in that division. Yeah, he's good enough to beat guys like Javier Fortuna, who he beat in his last fight, but I can't see Jojo beating the elite at 135. And say what you want about Devin Haney, I do believe he is a very good talent. I do believe he is top 5 in that division, and stylistically, I believe he's a tough matchup for Jojo Diaz. I don't think Jojo necessarily copes well with guys who can move a bit. We saw that to an extent against Gary Russell Jr., who's a smaller man. We also saw that against Rakhimov. When Rakhimov decided to box and move, I felt he was giving Jojo some real problems, and Devin Haney does that very well. Boxes behind that jab, keeps his range, and basically keeps you following while he's picking you off. On top of that, Devin Haney is much taller, he's much longer, and he's much fresher as well. He's a lot younger than Jojo Diaz. So in this fight, I believe Devin Haney more than likely is just going to comprehensively outbox Jojo Diaz. He's going to make the most of his advantages, his boxing skills, and I think he's going to keep Jojo at the end of his jab. One thing I will say in this fight, I do kind of want Devin Haney to try to put on a show. He's fighting a smaller man in Jojo Diaz, who's not a big puncher, who's not a real lightweight in my opinion. I want to see Devin Haney actually try to go for the stoppage. I'm not saying he could get it, but I want to see him try to, you know, put it on Jojo Diaz and really make a statement. Nevertheless, I expect Devin Haney to win this fight. I expect him to win it relatively comfortably. But you know, Jojo's a tough guy. He is durable. He does have well-rounded skills. I just don't think he's gonna be able to keep up with Devin Haney and close the distance and work enough to get the decision. So, I mean, I've got Devin Haney in this fight by unanimous decision, quite lopsided. But ultimately, I guess it's a step in the right direction for Devin Haney. I believe Jojo Diaz is some sort of mandatory. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But I think Devin Haney wins this fight relatively comfortably. But again, I do want to see Devin Haney try to put on a show. I think Devin Haney is due a really good performance, an exciting performance, to try and really get his name out there and build his profile that much more. But on the undercard, we actually have Montana Love, who is a super lightweight fighter. I actually quite like what I see from Montana Love. He's a quick-handed fighter, a nice hand speed, seems to be a good counterpuncher, carries decent pop on his punches, coming off a good win over Ivan Baranchyk. Now, Baranchyk these days, you know, he's past his best, but still, stopping Ivan Baranchyk is definitely a good look. And Montana Love in that fight, he looked quick, he looked exciting, and he looked like he's got something about him. He's fighting Carlos Diaz, who's not a great fighter. He's a basic sort of pressure fighter. I've seen Carlos Diaz fight before. He fought Jose Zepeda, and he got knocked out in the mid-rounds. So this is basically a showcase fight for Montana Love. He's recently signed with DAZN and Matchroom in the USA, so this is a showcase fight, but I expect Montana Love to put on a good performance and push himself to title contention at 140. 140 is interesting right now because Josh Taylor is undisputed. He's fighting Jack Catterall early next year, but I don't think Josh Taylor's going to stick around for too much longer. I think after Jack Catterall, you're going to see Josh Taylor move up to 147, and at that point, all of the belts are going to become vacant, and it's going to create a bit of a rush for those titles, and I see Montana Love as one of those guys who's going to be in that mix. So Montana Love is a guy worth looking out for. I expect him to beat Carlos Diaz, quite frankly, but it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table. We also have a female fight. I'm not particularly interested. Jessica McCaskill, who's actually quite cute, by the way, in my opinion. Quite a good-looking woman, as far as I'm concerned, but I've got no interest in female boxing, as you guys know. She's fighting somebody called Candy Watt. With a name like Candy, I'd assume she's hot. Let's have a look. No, she's not. But, yeah, the less said about this fight, the better. If you like female boxing, give it a watch, but it's not for me. We also have the return of Filip Hrgović. Now, Filip Hrgović is finding it extremely hard to get a fight of note. He is IBF #1 contender, I believe, and he's in line to fight in the Eliminator, but nobody in the IBF top 15 want to fight this guy. So here we have Filip Hrgović staying active and fighting a complete unknown in Amir Armatovic. I want to say he's from like Bosnia, maybe. Serbia, okay. So yeah, he's fighting Amir Armatovic, who is based in Germany. He's Serbian, but based in Germany. 10 wins, 7 knockouts, but when you look at his resume, he's beaten nobody of consequence, and he went split decision against the Spanish journeyman, Gabriel Unjima. So I'm not expecting this dude to bring much to the table. Another knockover job for Filip Hrgović, but it's hard to blame Hrgović right now. Nobody wants to fight this dude. He needs to stay active. It is what it is, really, but Hrgović more than likely is going to blow this guy away in a couple of rounds or so. We also have the return of prospect Austin Ammo Williams. Now, Ammo Williams recently had a bit of a meltdown on social media. Looked like he was going through some issues outside the ring. He was at odds with Eddie Hearn as well. It's good to see him back in the ring. I actually quite rate Ammo Williams. I think he's a good prospect, very good body puncher. I think he's coming off a win over Dennis Douglin. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Yeah, he recently beat Dennis Douglin, and he is now fighting Quantavious Cash in an 8-rounder. I would expect Ammo Williams to win. I do think he's a pretty good prospect, good style to watch. It's going to be interesting to see him back in the ring after his troubles, I guess I would say. You've also got Alexis Espino on the undercard. I've never seen this. Have I seen this guy fight? I'm not even sure, you know. No, I've never seen this guy fight, so watch out for, Alexis Espino. You've got Mark Castro on the undercard as well, a prospect at super featherweight. He's got a good style to watch, a bit of a puncher, and he's got a crazy fucking jawline. He looks like Elon Musk. But yeah, you've got Mark Castro on the undercard. He's one of DAZN USA's best sort of prospects. Amari Jones also on the undercard. And we also have Ricardo Rafael Sandoval. Now, is this the guy who beat Jay Harris recently? Yeah. Now, Ricardo Rafael Sandoval, he's fighting Carlos Buitrago. Now, I quite like the look of this kid right here, Ricardo Rafael Sandoval. He looked really good against Jay Harris. He destroyed Jay Harris to the body. He was walking him down, staying very composed, good pressure fighting style. and he got rid of Jay Harris in really good fashion. I think this guy at flyweight is somebody to look out for. Potential world champion. I actually believe Sandoval is some kind of mandatory within the IBF, so he could be fighting Sonny Edwards soon. But Ricardo Rafael Sandoval is a fighter who I would implore you guys to check out. I think he is potentially very good. I'm not sure whether he signed with DAZN though. Interesting. But definitely worth keeping an eye out for. And basically that is the card in a nutshell. Share your thoughts below. Anything that you're looking forward to in particular? Do you like the main event? Do you give Jojo Diaz a chance? I personally don't. But share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Del Boy.